over. Plus, she's also going to tell you how many different pairs to go over to.
No!
On tonight's show, we talk with young cruiser and vlogger Josh Hocum. Fresh off the Carnival Pride, our photo of the week is from Carnival Fun Ships Cruise Group. Lucas is back with part 2 of last week's cruise director interview. Shelly wants to give you some tips, tricks to help you save money for your next cruise. We explain the science behind falling off a cruise ship, and we have a healthy dose of cruise news from the industry. Get your questions ready for Josh and hold on to your seats because this is Cruise Week TV Live. Our show this week is brought to you by the folks at Good Memories Travel and by VMix. I am Matt, your host and newbie cruiser. Together with my co-host Shelly, producer Bird, Joe, and Lucas, we put together this weekly show all about cruising from a new person's perspective. Each week we bring you news, tips, tricks, and information from above and below decks. We talk to guests far and wide, including many you will meet on your cruise. From tour guides to cruise directors and ship captains. In today's show, we talk with young cruise vlogger and traveler Josh Hocum. He just got off another cruise, making it a total of 10 cruises he has now been on. And he'll be talking all about the fun he has had and some tips as well. But before we get to Josh, let's check out our photo of the week. This week, we have chosen a photo from the Carnival Fun Ships Cruising Group. We got a lot of photos submitted, but this one really stood out. It's father and son having bonding time on the ship leaving Half Moon Cay. Thanks for submitting the photo. We pick a new photo each week to feature from Facebook, or if you have one you think should be featured on the show, you can also email it to us at photos@cruiseweek.tv. Why do we now use a travel agent over just booking direct with the cruise line? Well, personal service for one, and cash credit back is another. You can actually cruise for cheaper. So whatever cruise you're planning to be on, give Good Memories Travel a call. You get the same great rates as booking yourself, plus you may get an onboard credit or a customer reward. Yes, they actually give you money to go cruise with. They enjoy planning and helping you with weddings and honeymoons. Good Memories Travel specializes in handling every aspect of your group cruise, family getaway, or that family reunion you've been wanting to plan. Imagine letting someone else do all the work while you relax. In fact, Debbie is handling our group cruise on the horizon in 2019. But they don't just handle cruises for Carnival, they book all cruises for all cruise lines, like Carnival, Royal, MSC, Norwegian, and more all over the world. They're your one-stop place for everything when planning your cruise. Call Debbie for a free, no-obligation quote on your next cruise. What have you got to lose? Debbie can be reached at 321-338-2953. And of course, through their website at goodmemoriestravel.com. And let them know you heard about them on Cruise Week TV. We were first told about vlogger Josh Hocum's YouTube channel from another Cruise Week viewer as someone we may want on the show. We checked it out and we were impressed with his style and fun vibe he brought to his videos. Josh, who usually cruises with his mom, brings a first-person view to his cruises and loves to share them with everyone. To say Josh is hooked on cruising is probably an understatement, having already been on 10 cruises across 9 different ships already. His goal is to work for a cruise line and eventually become a cruise director. His cruise vlogs are fun and insightful, but don't take my word for it. Let me show you a little bit from his channel.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? Guess what time it is? Hey, I'm Josh Hokum, and this is my story. Oh my God. I'm a vacation and travel expert and a professional fun seeker. Good morning, guys. I've traveled to some of the most exotic destinations in the world. Taking you along for the ride. Wow. Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, wow, wow. Wow. Join me as we cruise life and sea together.
Welcome to CruiseWeekTV, Josh, and all I have to say about that video is, Wow.
I love it.
So let's start with some basic questions. How old are you and what do you do exactly?
Okay, so I'm 19 years old. Right now, I live in a little small town in Greenville, North Carolina. And during the day, you can find me lifeguarding. You can find me teaching little kids how to swim, aqua aerobics, hosting birthday parties, just about anything in between there. I really love interacting with people and that kind of thing. And then in my spare time, in my fun time, that's where I really, I open up and reach out. And I go on cruises, film them, edit them myself, upload them, and people really love them. So yeah, that's my life, and I really, really like. I'm a professional fun haver.
A professional fun haver. That sounds like a
Yeah,
pretty nice occupation to have. So
yeah, it
how did
is.
you get into cruising to begin with? Like what age did you start?
I started when I was 7 or 8 years old. It was on the Carnival Victory back in 2005, and at that time, like my family, we hadn't taken a cruise before. We really our big vacation was going to the nearest amusement park or anything, and so we hopped down to Miami. We hopped on this ship, and I saw the open ocean for the first time, and I literally just fell in love right there. I'll never forget the if you sailed out of Miami, coming out of the government cut. I will never, ever, ever forget the first time that I did that. I think that'll be permanently sealed in my brain for forever. And I just instantly fell in love with cruising right then and there.
That's pretty intense. My first cruise was pretty life-changing as well, especially since it kind of led to all of this. I don't know what I signed myself up
Yeah,
for that first cruise. I was kind of expecting more vacation than eventual future job, but it was pretty fun. I enjoy it too. So,
right,
did you
right.
just start recording everything and making it into your own little videos, or how did that kind of become a thing?
Yes, I get that question asked all the time. And literally my answer is I have no idea how it became what it is today. When we went back in 2015, I went on the Carnival Breeze for the second time. And when we went on it the first time, I loved it so much, but I didn't have, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a camera, I had nothing to capture that. So when I went on the Carnival Breeze, I brought my little tiny iPhone 5C. The camera, well, honestly, the quality of it was not the best. And my goal on that ship was to simply remember the cruise. I wanted a digital representation of the cruise vacation. And so that's what that was. I didn't really watch any YouTube vloggers. I didn't really know how to do it. I just had it in my head that I was going to film everything that I did that day. And then when I came home, I was going to put it all together. And then I was going to upload it to YouTube because YouTube, it would be there and I can always go back and watch it. At least that's what I thought, when I was
Hmm.
15. And when I uploaded that, it just absolutely blew up and everybody loved this, small little, pubescent 15, 16-year-old. And they latched on to that. And it grew into today where this year alone, I have taken 5 cruises, 6 planned through 2017, and already 2 more planned for 2018 so far.
6 cruises already planned for this coming year. That's quite a lot of cruises.
Yeah.
What exactly? How do you find the cruises? How do you plan them exactly so far in advance and that many?
Well, actually, that is the beauty of it is that when usually the further out you book, the better the price will be, the better
Hmm.
the deal will be. That's not always the case, but if you want to book next week, you may find a good deal, but usually those are going to be some expensive cabins. So the way I like to do it is book far in advance. Then you have all this time to also pay it off, and the prices are usually a little bit less at that time.
How do you fund all of your cruises exactly? Because planning 6 to 8 cruises, that's quite a bit of money there.
I know I get asked that all the time, and I honestly have no idea. Lifeguarding pays well, I guess. I don't know.
That's pretty good. Might have to
Yeah,
consider other different jobs.
yeah. Consider
Noreen
lifeguarding.
Noreen Furness says, I'm one of Josh's swimming ladies, so there's some fans in
Hi,
here definitely
Noreen.
saying hi. Brittany Goodwin on Facebook says, what is your favorite carnival ship and why?
I love that question. Well, at the moment, I guess you could say I am kind of in a withdrawal station. So the Carnival Breeze has and always will hold a very special place in my heart. That is where I did my first vlog. That is where it's what got me to where I am today, and I hope will continue the success further on. But being on the Carnival Pride last week, and those videos have not aired. Those videos will start airing tomorrow, or excuse me, on Monday on my channel. But the Carnival Pride is a fantastic ship. All the nooks and crannies. It honestly is the most unique ship I've ever been on. There was inclines, there was declines, there was twists and turns every which way. You never felt like you were on a ship on the Carnival Pride.
Mhm.
So the Carnival Pride is at the moment tied for the Carnival Breeze for my favorite ship.
Do you just base it off of the cruise itself, or do you base it off the staff and the directors that is also running the cruise?
Yes. Actually 90% of it is probably based off of friendliness of the crew, friendliness of the staff, inviting, warming feeling. I mean, obviously there is the aesthetics, everybody's eyes get caught on the aesthetics and stuff. But I think the crew really do have a potential to make or break your cruise. When we went out of Baltimore, Maryland last week on the Pride, that's one of the reasons why it's up there with the Breeze, because the Pride is a significantly smaller ship than the Carnival Breeze.
Mhm.
But the crew, even the passengers, everybody was so friendly on that ship. I have never been on a ship where I felt like I could literally go up to anyone at any time of day and ask them anything, and the answer they would give me would be a nice, caring, thoughtful response.
Mhm. We also have some new information in on how you can afford the cruises from a Jim H. I'm not going to say his last name for anonymity. He says you also live at home for free, which helps out a little bit there.
That does help. That does help out a little bit. So, and that's the other thing. So I'll actually pay for my parents. Usually it's my mom that goes on the cruise with me. That's for a couple reasons. A lot of cruise lines you can't cruise unless you have somebody like 21 or 23,
Mhm.
of some age with them. So I'll actually pay like for her and myself to go on it, and then maybe she'll cover like the airline ticket or the hotel. So we kind of split up the cost a little bit, and that's coming from two different bank accounts, two different sources of incomes.
Mhm.
So that's how we're able to compensate that high expense.
So I believe, what area are you living in again? And how
Uh,
do you normally travel to these different places? Is it plane, drive, flight?
Yeah, we're living in Greenville, North Carolina. It's we're about 3 hours from like Nags Head, Hatteras, that kind of thing. So the outer banks. Typically, we fly. Now on the
Mhm.
MSC Divino, we did take Amtrak, the train, and it was a nice experience. To Miami is a little far. It was like I want to say like 21 or 22-hour train ride. So it was long. What made it not so unbearable was that part or a majority of it was overnight. We have said that if we were to ever cruise out of Port Canaveral or Jacksonville or something like that, we would definitely take the train again, because it left our area at 9 o'clock at night. We would arrive there at like
Mhm.
10 o'clock the next morning. So essentially you're paying for a hotel that night.
Nice, not too bad. We've thought about taking some trains to different areas, but again, there's a lot of time constraints just because Bert and I have different jobs. Well, I mainly have one that I can't take off the days, and that's what's stopping me from going on a lot more cruises. At least that's what Bert tells me. Yeah. Anyway, we have a couple more questions coming in. This one comes from Ken Jordan. Josh, have some of your cruises been overseas besides just like the regular Caribbean area or Mexico area?
Right. Yeah. Not at this time. However, I am extremely open and really looking, and I would love to explore Europe. I would love to explore Alaska, Australia, all of that stuff. At this time, I'm really familiar with the Caribbean. I really have a love and a passion for the Caribbean. So that is where I'm at currently, but I definitely see that in my future.
Mark Quintry on Facebook asks, now that you've been on another cruise line, the Divina, would you go on another one that's not Carnival?
Yes. I can't elaborate too much on that, but all I can say is next year there is another cruise line that we're going on, one that we have not been on before. I am so excited for it. That announcement will be coming soon. I'm not sure of the exact date, but yes, I would love to try different cruise lines, you know, see what they have to offer. The Divina, we really, really liked the food influence. So I am a very picky eater, and so I would not normally be open to trying new foods, you know, but the Italian influence on the MSC Divina really kind of forced me to try it, and I'm so glad it did, you know, because now I eat a lot of foods that I would never eat before that cruise. So
So do you
yes,
kind
very
of stay
interested
away
to try new cruise
from?
lines.
Do you normally stay away from the exotic taste menu on the Carnival main dining room, or have you been adventurous enough to try some?
Before, yes. The Carnival Pride, I was very adventurous. I like shocked myself. Like I would order stuff and then I would think about it. I was like, what in the world did I just order? But yeah, before that, I would order, you know, like a steak and a baked potato, like 3 times during the cruise. And that's not acceptable when you have all this access to, you know, amazing foods that would cost you, you know, a meal like you could get on a cruise in some restaurants on land would cost you hundreds of dollars, you know, and it's all included into your fare. So take advantage of it.
That's one of my biggest things on the cruise ship is the food. I love trying as many new things as I can within temptations of like how much I had to drink the night before, because escargot and, you know, a lot of tequila doesn't mix, especially during some hurricane weathers. And looking
Yeah.
at some of your videos, I think you and I know 2 different forms of the wobble. Usually mine's kind of walking back to my cabin at 3 a.m. And so is Chalet's.
The wobble, and my coworkers know, because where I do teach aqua aerobics, I have access to the auxiliary cord. So you will regularly see me just randomly doing the wobble at work. It is honestly the funniest thing. I always get looks from a couple of people, you know, like, what in the world is this kid doing? But, you know, you got to have a good time.
So you've mentioned a couple different times that you want to become a cruise director. Do you have plans for a specific cruise line? And how do you exactly want to obtain that position?
Yeah. Yes, I do definitely want to be a cruise director. That's my number one passion, my number one goal. I would love nothing more than to make people smile, make people happy, and make them laugh, all while, you know, traveling on the open oceans, waking up in a new country every day, seeing new places, meeting new people. I would love that nothing more. Though right now, I just had a meeting last week aboard the Pride with the entertainment director, and one of the things we discussed was how am I going to get there? Typically, cruise lines, they don't hire until you're 21, just for certain, you know, security reasons. But what she recommended I do is exactly what I'm doing, getting that exposure out there, getting that public speaking. I mean, even though it is talking to a camera, I know that I'm talking to, you know, at times 3, 4, 5,000 people, you know, depends on who watches the video, how many people watch the video, you know? So getting that exposure by keep uploading those videos, traveling the world, and just making people smile, keep doing what I'm doing, and the cruise lines are going to recognize that, and they're going to latch onto that. As far as what cruise line, at this time, Carnival. I love the fun atmosphere, you know, and the freedom and that kind of thing. So,
do you have a favorite cruise director? We won't tell any of the other ones. Oh, that was pretty quick.
Yes. I have 2. One of them, if you sail with Matt Mitchum, right now he's on the Vista. He is honestly amazing. He is in his own category. There's nobody like him. There probably will never be anybody like him. Just the fun, positive energy he brings to it, all with like a sleek, like James Bond, you know, like he can walk in a room and everybody is right there at his fingertips. And I love that about him. He's fun. He's energetic. You know, just everything about him. He's a fantastic cruise director. Really had some great training and some great experience. The other one is Chloe. Chloe off of, when did we see? Oh, the Conquest. This back in July. I had never sailed with her before, but honestly, one of the most down-to-earth, kind cruise directors I've ever had the opportunity of sailing with. She was thoughtful. She was super funny, super like right there with the crowd, you know, all in the mix. And really, like, I still remember like conversations that she would have with the crowd because of that. So, you know, she left an impact.
Bethany Meyer says, sign me up for whatever ship you become a cruise director on. You have a lot of fans popping in with questions. Robbie O'Malley says, what is your view on cabins and, oh, that one cut off. And what is your favorite type of cabin?
What is my view on cabins? So, my view on cabins is if you are the kind of person that would like to sit on a balcony somewhere private, read a book, have a glass of wine, get a balcony. Get a balcony, get something with a balcony, somewhere where you can have your own private space. If your cabin is something for you to sleep at night, for you to store your clothes, for somewhere that you call home base, get an interior. Okay, don't spend the extra money. If you're gonna be in that cabin at night when you go to sleep and to change your clothes, don't waste that extra money that you could be using on a shore excursion on this grand suite that you're not gonna stay in. You know, you're gonna be in there for, you know, just to sleep. And then anything in between that. So maybe if you want to ocean, you know, if you want to see the ocean when you come in, you maybe want to spend a little bit of time in your room, but you don't want to spend all day an ocean view and, you know, so on and so forth. If you really want to kind of be your own person, maybe go for a suite, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite type of cabin, probably a balcony. I really like at night going out, looking down, seeing the water, looking out at the horizon, you know, knowing that I say this a lot, but like I'm a small person on this giant ocean. And, you know, it's just like crazy to think about that, like how big the world truly is. But I'll often get an interior. If it means that I can book another cruise over, you know, a balcony, I'm going to get an interior. There's no two ways about it. So
I 100% agree with you. Interior, like I'm only in there for what, like 7, maybe 8 hours if I'm lucky for sleeping.
Right.
The rest of the time, you're going to be out enjoying it. I mean, the suite, kind of nice if you're maybe with 3, 4 people. Otherwise, an interior can get kind of cramped. But, you know, just to save that extra money, because not a lot of people can afford the suites every single time. It's great if you can snag them on sale maybe a couple days before the ship, but that's kind of a gamble right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a couple more questions coming in here. Barb Parsons asking about college. Are there any classes to become a cruise director or courses or anything of that nature to kind of prepare you for that?
Fantastic question. I have asked this question myself for about 2 years now. I went to college right out of high school, was in there for something that I definitely did not want to do. It's just something that this counselor recommended. Like I went and told them and they was like, oh, you should do this. And it's not at all what I wanted to do. We wasted a whole bunch of money and it was just not worth it. So what I do now, I'm currently not in college. I plan on taking some sort of communications or hospitality management degree.
Nice.
Is there a set like you do this like much like a nurse? You know, a nurse, you take this class, you go to this clinical, you take this exam, and boom, you're a nurse. You know, cruise director does not work that way. It's all about experience and showing the cruise lines and the companies that you know how to have fun, you know how to engage people.
So there's no like bachelor's or requirement or anything like that. I know a lot of jobs nowadays you have to have some sort of higher education to even get a small part-time job at some places.
Right. Yeah. No. Funny enough, the entertainment director that I was talking with last week, Brittany. I've known her for years. Actually, when we was on the Breeze the first time, so I think that was like 2013 or something. I met her, and at that time, she told me that she had because I told her the exact same thing that I knew in 2013. I wanted to be a cruise director, and so I walked up to her and I told her, I was like, I'm going to be a cruise director one day, and she told me she had her degree in philosophy. Absolutely nothing to do with the ocean, nothing to do with the maritime. And so when we met last week, she again reminded me. She was like, I told you, I have my degree in philosophy. You don't necessarily need a degree. You just have to be a fun, loving personality that knows, you know, how to engage people.
So on the same line as college, because in my college, you know, studying, all that fun and all that stuff is, you know, great and whatnot, but the biggest part about college is the drinking. So being at 19, you're not able to drink in the US or on cruise ships. However, a lot of different ports, drinking age is 18 or even 16 and kind of very loose rules. Are you a person that goes off ship and drinks a little bit, or what exactly?
Typically not, because I am there at the end of the day to I'm there to have fun, but I'm also there, to deliver a piece of work, to the world. So I've always said that I have so much energy that if you put alcohol in this, my head would probably pop off. So probably that's not the person that I would be. I think I probably wouldn't even be able to hold the camera upright. It would probably be upside down and all kinds of different stuff. So,
And that's why I had a GoPro strapped to my chest the whole entire time, so I was not able to move it that much. And a
That's
camera
right.
crew of bird following me around. Oh, he's drinking more. This is going to be good. Yeah, that's
There you
perfect.
go.
That's
There you
perfect.
go.
God. So, what is your favorite excursion that you've been on so far, and favorite port that you've visited? I'm sure you've been to a ton of them.
Wow, that is a hard question, Matt. My favorite excursion and favorite port. Well, my favorite port is not a hard question. My favorite port is St. Martin. I love the island of St. Martin. Actually, I'm wearing a shirt right now that says "Sending my love to the Caribbean." It's from Hurricane Irma, and in the center of the heart, it has a picture of St. Martin. I don't know why I love St. Martin so much. It is just very near and dear to my heart. We went there on, I want to say maybe on the Victory. That was the first time I went to St. Martin and absolutely fell in love with it then. It's just a really gorgeous island with a lot of life in it. They rely 80% off of tourism. So if a ship's not coming in, a plane's not landing, they're not making any money that day. But as far as a favorite excursion, that would probably have to be in the island of St. Martin. We did back on the Carnival Vista. It was like these Zodiacs, and it was like a speedboat, and you got to drive the speedboat, and it was like you're like jumping waves, and they drove you up to this like the edge of the island, and then you got to get out and snorkel, and it was honestly just the perfect excursion. If like I love a lot of adventure, a lot of adrenaline. You put a little boy with a boat in control of a boat, and it's game over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, going back from, fun stuff to do off the ship, let's do some fun stuff on the ship. I've seen a lot of your videos on YouTube, and I think I know the answer to this, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like formal night?
I love formal night. That is a very, very mixed topic, but I love formal night. I really just love, how everybody's all dressed up. Everybody looks really, really nice. They've done their best. They've put that extra hair in line. It just, I don't know. I love formal night. The photo taking. I've been, like I said, I was on five cruises this year in 2017, and we took photos every single cruise. It's something special about it.
It's also my favorite night too. Just to have everyone dress up, and it feels so nice, so fancy. Because how many times a year do a lot of people go out being so elegant and actually having a sit down dinner?
When else are you going to get to wear, a nice button-up, nice jacket suit, really nice dress if you're a lady? When else are you going to get to do that,
Exactly. I always bring a couple different outfits and different vests, everything like that. Change it a couple times. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to be wearing tonight. It's good. Everything's all good. So, what has been your favorite ship that you've been on so far? I know you talked a lot about the Breeze and that you really enjoyed it because it was your first memory, but which ship had the best and most enjoyable aspects on it? Kind of the best interior, the best interior cabins, because I know a lot of different ships have their own theme. And kind of pushing memories aside, which one do you think was the nicest for a lot of people to kind of start off with?
Well, I am personally not a fan of the I don't know what color it is. It's like a brownie orange that a lot of the interior cabins, at least on Carnival, are. I'm not a fan of that color. On the Vista, we did a spa cabin, a spa interior, and that was really, really nice. Kind of hit some teals, some blues, some greens in there. That had a really nice decor. But the MSC Divina has probably had the nicest room decor that I have personally been in. It had just these like really nice back panels, some elegant lighting over top the bed. the curtain, even the curtains, like it was just every little detail. My favorite thing actually about that room was the shower doors. You know that the showers and the bathrooms on cruise ships can be quite small. But this one had an actual door that folded out if you wanted to use it, and then it could fold back in if you weren't using it. It was genius, and it like took away that shower sticking to you, the curtain, and a lot of people run into.
That's my least favorite thing. Usually with a curtain kind of sticking to me, I put it outside the shower and I put like a shoe on it so it doesn't get sucked in with the warm air. Guys, if you have any questions for Josh, make sure you post them in the comments below. So for a lot of different outshore excursions, those are great, and some people might find some really amazing ones to do, but there's also a lot of excursions you can do on the ships and different amenities as well. Spa tours, the spa in general, even getting haircuts on the ship, which I think is pretty interesting. Have you ever done any of the onboard amenities, and which one do you think was worth it the most?
Well, I've done 2 of the spa treatments now. I've never actually had like a haircut or dental or anything on there. I would like to try that one day, maybe just to see how the service is, if nothing else, just to give it a proper review and everything. But the spa treatments are really good. However, the thing that I thought was the coolest, we'll say on ship shore excursion, is actually the behind the scenes tour of the ship. That was one of the coolest things I've ever had the opportunity to do. If you've ever wondered, where does the crew, where do they transport stuff? What does the bridge look like? What does the galley look like? How do they make the food? How do the scenes in the show fly? That's the perfect thing for you. And of course, me wanting to work on a ship, I wanted to know all about that stuff and then some more. So that was probably the coolest. I think it's like usually $90 or something. Absolutely worth it. They just kept taking us to new places. It was honestly one of the coolest things I've ever done on a ship.
Our producer Bird really loves doing the galley tours a lot, and he always highly recommends them to a bunch of people. My favorite onboard amenity was probably the chef's table, just because I'm a foodie and I love trying a lot of interesting gourmet food that you might not normally be able to find a lot of different places.
Right.
So, final question is, how many videos do you do a week, and where can we find all those videos?
Okay. So typically I do 2, maybe 3 videos a week. There will at least be 2 videos. My vlogs happen on Monday and Thursdays. The Pride series is going up at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if there's a 3rd video, that will happen on Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes we'll tag in and do like a weekend video, like an announcement, like a cruise announcement. So if we're going on a new ship or a cruise breakdown or a review, that will happen on the weekends. But every Monday and Thursday, those vlogs go up. You can check them out at my YouTube. It is youtube.com/Josh Hocum, my name, JoshHocum, to get all of your cruising fixes, I guess.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, for joining us. We had a wonderful interview with you. And if you guys want to find out more or see some of those videos, you can check out the YouTube link right below. There's more hurricane news today. At least 8 cruise itineraries in the Western Caribbean, where a number of cruise ships fled in the wake of Hurricane Irma and Maria, have been altered as a result of Tropical Storm Nate. The storm is making its way toward the Yucatan Peninsula and is expected to become a hurricane over the weekend. The Carnival Dream, Sensation, Splendor, Breeze, as well as Oasis of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, and Liberty of the Seas, all have been rerouted to avoid the storm. The changes come just weeks after the pair of major hurricanes caused widespread devastation in the Eastern Caribbean and affected a total of more than 100 cruises. Tropical Storm Nate, which has a maximum sustained wind speeds of 50 miles per hour, has already prompted a hurricane and storm surge warning from Greater New Orleans to Alabama-Florida border. A hurricane watch, tropical storm watch, and warning also are in effect for parts of the region. Roatan and other parts of Honduras, as well as the western Cuba, the ports of Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Progreso, and the northern coast of the Gulf of Mexico also have been advised in the monitor the storm's progress. So if you are cruising this weekend, expect some port changes. The Carnival Elation is in the final stages of a multi-million-dollar makeover that includes the addition of an expansive new waterworks park, 38 new cabins, 98 balconies to existing staterooms, and a variety of exciting food and beverage concepts. Following the extensive renovation, Carnival Elation will resume its year-round schedule of 4 to 8-day cruises from Jacksonville, Florida, from October 7th. The ship's new features include Guy's Burger Joint, Red Frog Rum Bar, Blue Iguana Cantina, Blue Iguana Tequila Bar, Camp Ocean, and the new Waterworks Water Park. The Elation is Jacksonville's only year-round cruise ship, offering 4 and 5-day cruises to the Bahamas, featuring stops at Freeport, Nassau, and the private destinations of Half Moon Cay and Princess Cay. So it's nearly that time for Shelly's CCPPF group cruise, and sadly we will not be joining her due to lack of funds. But our girl will be sending some great video clips back to Tesis, but before she goes, she has a compiled list. Some notes of great tips and tricks for saving you some money on your next cruise. Shelly, how are you pro-cruise preparations coming, and just how many pairs of shoes are you going to be bringing in a carry-on bag this time?
Well, Matt, we don't normally fly to our cruises because we live in Galveston, so we almost always, we're right there close by. But this time we're going on the Vista for the very first time, and I was hoping to share all those wonderful food experiences with you, but sadly you won't be there. But anyway, this cruise came with airfare, hotel, things that we don't normally have to deal with. So luckily we have airline miles, we have hotel points. So those kind of things were taken care of for us. I posted a thread in CCPPF a few days ago just asking our members, what are your tips? What do you do to save money? Not on the cruise. We did a show about that not long ago, about how to save money or do things for free while you're actually on the ship. This is getting ready for the ship. We all know that the money doesn't stop with that final payment. You've got excursions, you've got portraits, you've got souvenirs, you've got tips for the porters and the room service guy. There's so many little things that come up. One of the things that my husband always does, there's a couple of things that we do to save money. One of them, my husband always wants to buy a very expensive bottle of scotch, Johnny Walker Blue Label. And for us, it's a pricey bottle of booze. It's about $300. We can buy it on the ship for about $250, and there's no tax because it's duty free. So for us, that saves you probably about $100 on that bottle. And he only buys one a year, so only our most fabulous friends that come by get to have a sip of it.
I was going to say, how long does that bottle last for exactly?
He keeps it for a year. He enjoys a nice glass of scotch, but it's the Blue Label only comes out for special occasions, and we can usually stretch it out for a whole year. So he does that. Go ahead.
My fancy bottle of choice is Crown Royal Apple, # not sponsored, but if Crown Royal Apple is watching, feel free to send us as much whiskey as possible. That would be amazing.
You have a little picture up and a little thing. I want to try that. The commercials are it's the green apple with just soda. When they say soda, they just mean like club soda, and Johnny like the apple, the Crown apple with soda. I think it's just they're probably just talking about just like club soda or something like that. But another thing that I do is, and if anyone would like to get in touch with me through Facebook or through CruiseWeekTV, I have a format of what's called the 52-week challenge, and it's a way to put money aside. Every week you put a certain amount of dollars away, and it doubles every week, and you start off with $1. So the first week is $1, the second week is $2, the second week or the third week, it doubles every time from there. At the end of 52 weeks, you have over $1,000 worth of money that you've put away for, you know, and $1,000, it's a lot of money. But when you think about all the, after you paid for the cruise, there's all these extra little things that come up that go along. Like I said, fortunately, we haven't had to deal a whole lot with hotel and airfare, but there's still many little things that come up that cost you money. The other thing, I got a big old cheap gallon jug of wine that I poured the wine out of it, and it's my change jar. I mean, you know, it's the cheap stuff. I poured it out. I got me, you know, a better cheap wine, but I used my wine jug. That wine, it's pretty bad. It's like one of those big gallon ones, but it's a perfect change jar. And every time we eat lunch, we do anything, we got 50 cents, $1, whatever in change, we throw it in there. And almost every cruise, I'll have over $100 to $200 worth of change in there. Just over time, you don't realize how much change you have and how it adds up. And also at my bank, and you may check with yours, and I didn't know this at first, but of course they have the Coinstar machines where you can put the coins in, and but they charge you a fee. My credit union has a coin counting machine that you can use for free if you're a member. So definitely check with your bank and see if they offer that for a free service, because you don't have to pay a fee for cashing in your change. So basically what we did is I posted the thread, and we had so many awesome ideas for how to save money for your upcoming vacation. Just the response was great. So I'm going to give a shout out to all those that contributed to the thread in CCPPF, Carnival Cruisers, past, present, future. Josh, why aren't you in there posting videos? What's going on, bro?
I haven't really ever gotten that permission to do so. I didn't know that I could do that.
Are you a member?
Yeah.
Well, post your videos. Let's do this, man.
I have permission.
Of course you do. I'm sure people would love to see your videos, just like the Cruise Week TV. Post them. Let's do this. I didn't even know you were a member. Let's do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I honestly didn't know. I didn't know if that was like against the rules or something. That's why I didn't do it.
Well, the rules are located in the pinned post. You'll find all of them there, and that's not one of them.
That one's on me. That one's on me.
Let's see those videos. But anyway, I do want to give a shout out to the people that made a contribution to the thread. We have a lot of really great ideas. I know that we've been long-winded here so far, so we'll go through this a little quickly. So Marnie Hawkman says, I have hiding places all over the house for change and small bills, and I almost forgot where I hide the money. So don't do that. Make a note of where you hide your money so you know where it is for your cruise. We got Kristen Heward says, book early saver. You know, you can book your cruises a year or two in advance. You lock in the rate. If any time during your cruise the price goes down, you submit the early saver form to Carnival, or you have your travel agent do it, depending on how you book the cruise. And from there, if the price has gone down, if you have not paid the balance in full, they will apply those funds towards the balance due. If you have paid the balance, they will take that money and issue it to your account as onboard credit. I've walked on a cruise with $400 or $500 worth of onboard credit just from price drops, just from watching. Now you have to be proactive. Carnival's not going to call you and say, hey, your cruise went down. You're going to have to check. And I mean, sometimes I would do that daily. If you have a great travel agent, they'll check daily as well. You go, Mary Beth. I know you're checking for us, girl. So this lady, Jennifer Ward, she's strict. I don't know if I could do all this. Do not eat out. No tanning or nail salon. No cards or presents between the hubby and I. I kind of get that. To me, cards, I understand the thought behind them, but $4 for a piece of paper, it's a waste of money to me. Anyway, Walmart Savings Catcher. Yes, love that app. I use it too. Walmart will match any price that you have. So if it's cheaper somewhere else, they'll give you the difference for your shopping there at Walmart. Shop consignment, consign unwanted clothes. No movie theaters. Hang your clothes, use the toaster oven instead of a regular oven to keep electric down. I mean, I get it, girl. It's saving money, but whew, you're rough. You're hard. Pack lunches for work. My husband does that every day. He'd rather eat a lunch that we pack that's healthy than to eat out every day. Cook double meals so you can reheat instead of running your oven. That's a good idea. Prepare meals for the week. Jamie McAtee says buying gift certificates for Carnival. They sell them at, well, I think she said gift certificate. I think she meant gift card. There are many companies that offer the Carnival gift cards at like a 10% discount. AARP, Verizon used to. A little upset with them. Apparently, they're not going to be doing that anymore. AAA. What they do is say you want $100 gift certificate, you can buy it for $90. You buy a $500 gift certificate, you get it for $400. So, I mean, the savings is pretty significant. And if you collect enough of those, I mean, you could save $1,000 just by buying discounted
Also,
gift cards.
if you do go to college or high school, save your student ID. Even if it's not valid anymore and you don't go there, it can still save you 10% on movies and other stuff and bar fees. I bring mine everywhere. I've been out of college 2 years now, but I still get discounts at all my local bars. Super great. And mechanic
So
shops,
basically,
too.
you're using your college ID illegally. Is that correct, Matt? Is that what we're
No,
supposed to
it's
think?
I paid a large amount of money for my degree that I have not made money back on yet, so I am using this to reimburse my loss.
Okay, hey, I
Logic.
get that. That sounds like a great. That's wow. That was.
I don't have an AARP
Perfect.
membership yet, Shelley, that I can use.
Neither do I. Whatever. I'm not that old. Good grief. Okay, so moving on. Jasmine DeVoe. Rather than buying breakfast or lunch out, prepare meals at home, even buying coffee, open a savings account, put a fixed amount monthly in there. If you really sat down, and not you specifically, but anyone that is like, say, a big Starbucks fan, if you actually sat down and realized how much money that you spend at Starbucks every single day, 365 days a year, you would be appalled at the money that you're spending on that. There's another comment a little later on about cigarettes. Not attacking smokers. I was a smoker for a long time, but they're taking the money that they used to spend on cigarettes now that they've quit, and they're like, well, I would have spent that money anyway. I'm going to put that aside. That's my spending money for a cruise, vacation, whatever. The same with coffee. Buy them Starbucks K-cups and make that at home. Good grief. Some people, y'all are spending $3,000 and $4,000 a year on coffee. Stop it.
I can't make a unicorn frappuccino at home, though, Shally.
That's true, Matt. Although if anybody could, you could. I'm confident of that.
Mine has vodka in it.
Well, that's when you put your vodka in a flask and take it with you. You got it. Now we're talking about coffee with vodka in it at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's in a whole nother show.
That's how I normally start my cruise.
So anyway. Well, okay, we're talking about a cruise. I'm talking about coffee every day before work.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not putting vodka in it. Hopefully at this age that you're at, Matt, that you're not so stressed that you got to put vodka in your coffee. Anyway, Debbie Force says we save change in singles. So far, $700 in just singles. When you get change at the convenience store, whatever, you got a couple ones. Throw them aside. You don't even realize they're gone. Dave Rosso, again, with the Carnival gift cards, over 12. Also, the gift cards, also the fuel perks that you get. They save a lot of money in gas. Over $1,200 in fuel perks, and didn't pay for gas for 6 months. Kroger's, all those grocery store chains, they offer all kinds of fuel perks. For using their card, shopping at their stores. They sell a lot of gift cards. Use your rewards to do whatever you can with that. Karen St. Clair, book early and have everything paid before you go. She was talking about her Greek island vacation. They booked it over 1.5 years ago. So again, like booking early saver, when you book these things early, the only thing you have to do with Carnival is put the deposit down. And a lot of people are like, I always see these little snarky comments when people are like, hey, there's a sale on the deposits. And they're like, it's not really a sale. You still have to pay the same amount, blah, blah, blah. I understand that you have to end up, but a family of 3, a $250 deposit each, that's $750 out of my pocket just to book it. Or I can do the half price deposit sale, put that money down, or even the $50 deposit sale that they have. And I have the whole next year to pay my cruise, without that initial shock of $750 all at once. So I always take advantage of the reduced deposit sale. I book early, I get a good price. Maribeth, our travel agent, Maribeth Kring, she keeps a track of price drops for us, and I keep track of them myself. So Maria Erickson says she puts $50 a check away every 2 weeks. Kaylena Burdette says she's got the Carnival Rewards card. She got $175 worth of credits. I don't know all of the perks and information completely about the Carnival gift card, but I know that when you purchase things on there that you can use your points towards your Carnival cruise. Eddie Irwin says, try saving a $5 bill every time you get the change. And here it was Ginger talking about quitting smoking. Ginger How. She quit smoking, so every pack of cigarettes she would have bought, she puts that money away. That's a lot of money. I quit smoking. It's been over 10 years since I smoked like a real cigarette. I do smoke. I do the vape thing because I'm weak, but I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. And the last time I bought a pack of cigarettes, I think they were to something a pack. If I'm correct at this point, from what I've seen, are we talking $6, $7, $8 for a pack of cigarettes?
They're pretty pricey. It's
and if you I was a pack a day smoker. I mean, good grief. If you quit smoking, think of all the money you would.
Sorry to
how many cruises you could go on.
We are slowly running out of time, though. Just throw that out there.
There's all kinds of great. I could go on and on. There was all kinds of great suggestions. There's a thread going on in the cruise group. Go through it, read all of them. There were lots of that. I mean, we went over a lot of them just now, but there's so many ways to save money. And again, if you want that 52-week challenge format, just let me know on Facebook or let Bird know. I'd be happy to send it to you. It's an easy way to save money. I hope we gave y'all some tips, some ways to put that money aside, and get some fun on your cruise.
And if you guys want to see the rest of the complete list, Shelly will be posting it later on Facebook where you guys can read it at your own leisure. This show and all of the wonderful abilities we have to bring in guests remotely wouldn't be possible at the level we do without vMix. vMix is a live production software that powers our live show and many other high-end productions. From church services to football games, more and more live productions run on vMix. What our producer Bird really liked when he was trying to improve our show was that they give you a full 60-day trial of everything. That way you can test it out risk-free before you buy for 2 full months. Then they have systems starting out from just $350. If you're going to do any sort of live, serious streaming, you need vMix. Try it at vmix.com today. This thought always goes through my head while on a cruise ship. And call me pessimistic, but I almost guarantee you've thought of it too. What happens when you fall off a cruise ship? Let me know in the comments below if you have ever thought this before. For starters, a man overboard is not very common, but they do happen. You're unlikely to ever end up in this situation, but just in case you do, I'll go over what to do if you fall off a cruise ship. Even though only a minuscule number of people fall off a cruise ship every year, the percentage of those who are rescued alive is very small. Many are never found, either because nobody realizes they're missing until it's too late, or because sea conditions prevent rescue crews from ever spotting them. Does anyone know what the hardest part of surviving is? Well, the hardest part is actually surviving the fall. When you fall off a cruise ship, you could be falling from as much as 10 stories up. And anybody who's ever done a belly flop knows that hitting water is like hitting concrete. You could easily break a bone or have the wind knock out of you. Could also make you more likely to drown. In 2015, a man fell off a Royal Caribbean cruise ship and nobody noticed. He was picked up by a Carnival cruise ship that happened to be traveling along the same route. Technology that can detect when someone falls off a cruise ship is available, but cruise lines are not legally required to install them. Even if you're reported missing, the ship might not turn around and go back for you right away. When Sarah Kirby fell off a Carnival cruise, her friend Rebecca tried to get the captain to turn around, but because Rebecca didn't actually see Sarah fall off, the captain would not veer off course until it was certain that she was no longer on board. Sarah was eventually rescued after 2 hours in the water. If you're on a cruise to the Bahamas, your chances of survival are much greater than if you're on a cruise to Alaska. If you fall into the cold water, you could die almost instantly of cold shock response. The sudden icy coldness causes you to take an involuntary gasp, causing you to inhale seawater and drown. Survival expert Mike Tipton says that 60% of deaths in cold seas occur in the first few minutes, well before a ship could spot you and rescue you. If you survive the initial shock, you could still die of hypothermia within only 30 minutes. To avoid hypothermia, you should keep your limbs as close to your body as you can. Exert as little energy as possible. Try to stay still and float, Tipton advises. Curling up into the fetal position can help your body be insulated and calm. Of course, warm water has its fair share of problems too. The warmer water is, the more likely, you are to encounter a shark. Well, maybe someone might notice you when you fall off the ship, right? Unfortunately, spotting a person in the ocean is harder than you might think. And finding a person in rough seas is even more difficult because the water is so choppy. If you're going to fall off a cruise ship, your chances are better if the water is calm that day. If you fall off a cruise ship at night, unless the ship happens to be very close to shore, you're going to be swimming in complete darkness. This also makes it more difficult for rescue crews to find you. Talk about terrifying. Maritime attorney Jim Walker estimates that 50% of overboard incidents are mysteries, and a high percentage of those cases involve foul play, often men throwing their female companions overboard. The same maritime attorney estimates that about 40% of cruise ship man overboard incidents involve alcohol. This isn't too surprising given the amount of booze on cruise ships. Again, these facts are not meant to scare you, but to serve as a warning and helpful lesson. Just because you're on vacation doesn't mean you're invincible. Bad things can happen to anyone at any time, but being smart, drinking safe, and being with others can greatly reduce these risks. I'm out of breath and should probably go to something a bit more pleasant. Let me know in the comments below if you think this science segment was a bit scary or if you found it interesting. Who would like to go cruise with us on a cruise in 2019 on the Carnival Horizon? This is being put on by our good friends at Good Memories Travel, and we would love to get your onboard commentary on there with us. It is February 23rd of 2019, and we hope to have our entire team on board and having a blast with you all as well, enjoying one of Carnival's biggest and newest ships. The entry for the $500 drawing has also been extended, so you can be entered to win into that when you book. There is a webpage for the cruise, and that is CruiseWeekTV/GroupCruise. Let us know what you would like to see on the group cruise, since we have never done something like this before. The entry for the $500 drawing has been extended till December 31st, so go ahead, book and join myself, Bird, Matt, Shalley, and you all on the ship. So we have an open invitation to send things to us for our studio, and Barb from the Carnival Cruisers Decorate Your Doors group sent us this large box. We have no idea what's in it, but I think it's time we find out. And I'm hoping it's nothing too weird. So I got this box I probably should have mentioned about in the pre-show. It's fairly light. So I got a knife here. I was wondering why Bird gave me that during early sure. So let's take a little bit in here and let's play What's in the Box. I know, we do need the Jeopardy thing. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I have enough room in the studio for this. Okay. We need a bigger studio. We got a bunch of paper. Oh my gosh. This is going to take a while. There's quite a bit of paper here. Oh my goodness. And it is a wonderful Decorate Your Doors inspired wreath. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to get this out here. Move this box real quick. Give me a moment. Boys and girls and cruisers alike. Okay. Okay, it is a wonderful wreath from the Decorate Your Doors group, and this is from Barb, and it has a wonderful ornate flamingo in the middle, as if you guys watch one of the past episodes with Barb, she is very flamingo friendly. It is decorated with a bunch of shot glasses. Oh, that's quite a lot. And there is even a little note on it. Put that right there. And it says, Carnival Cruises, Decorate Your Doors, proud founders, Barb and Jim. And that's at decorateyourdoors@outlook.com if you want to email them in. They also have a Facebook group. So thank you so much, Barb. We absolutely love it. I have no idea where we're going to put this. Oh, we have to find room somewhere. I'm going to put it aside for now because I've still got a lot of extra stuff to talk about. Thank you so much for that. Let me find my notes over here. Okay, thanks, Barb, for that gift. If you want to send us something for the studio or for one of us, you can mail it to the address below. Just no severed heads or anything illegal. Booze is more than welcome as well, and I promise you I will even drink part of it on the show. Lucas was on the Norwegian Escape last week and started an interview with the cruise director. Here's part 2 of that interview in our Life Below Deck segment from Lucas.
Awesome. One last question, Andre. Is there something about being a cruise director that you've learned that most people probably wouldn't know? Maybe it's a challenging thing. Maybe it's a very rewarding thing. Can you give us a little nugget of something about being a cruise director that we might not know?
I guess when everyone thinks of a cruise director, they think of the party person. They think of the person who's out there doing the game shows, dancing at the parties, doing the trivias and the Mr. Sexy Legs competitions, and that's all true. That all happens. But behind the scenes, I've got 14 managers under me, and I've got 200 staff under me, and I'm also the HR guy for my department as well. So there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of time spent answering emails, writing reports, doing all that paperwork and balancing finances and all of that good stuff. So it's an awful lot of back office stuff as well. So it's not all about playing games. As much as that's the fun bit, you've still got to do all of the paperwork. Paperwork never ends wherever you go.
I believe it. One last question, I just thought of it. If the viewers that might want to try to become a cruise director one day, where do you start, or how would you go to a company and say, like, what's the beginning step to become a cruise director?
I think if you're a young kid and you want to be a cruise director, get into things like, regional theater, do some kind of, like the after school clubs in theater, get used to talking in front of a crowd, because on here you could be entertaining in front of 400, 500, 600 people easily every day. But
you do a show too, right?
You do, yeah. You do shows. You're up there on the theaters, and the theater holds 1,000 people on here, so you're performing in front of 1,000 people all the time, regularly. So you've got to be comfortable with talking in front of people. So the more they can do like that, like kind of theater-based stuff where they're performing, is great. But as they're a bit older, come on as a cruise staff. Like, one of the activities are the social hosts, and then they get a chance to do the kind of working from the ground up. And then we have a great training program on here. So you do all the activities first, then you start going to assistant cruise director where the paperwork starts to build in. We kind of ease you in gently. So by the time you get to cruise director, you get used to all of that stuff and you can just run with it and have fun.
Awesome. Andre, thank you so much for taking the time to do an interview. Tune in next week, another episode, Life Below Deck. Thanks, guys. See you later.
I feel bad for bike cops. There are places in North Carolina where if you're a bike cop, you can't carry a gun. Do you know that's a horrible rule? Do you know how hard it is to pull over a car full of like 8 drunken people when all you have is a Huffy 3-speed and a light? Those cops have to improvise. They're like, hey, stop sign, don't you get back, stop, hey, stop! Really one of the people in the back of the car. I'm like, dude, there is a bike cop behind us. Quick, find a hill.
Thanks, Lucas, as always, and you can find and see more of Lucas at facebook.com/comiclucasbond. I want to thank Cruising Cat from RSC's Periscopers group for helping us out over there in our Periscope chat room. If you want to see a lot of live streams from people on ships, head on over to RSC's Periscopers group on Facebook for a list. And if you know someone who will enjoy watching the show as much as you, be nice and share that link to their Facebook wall so they can enjoy it too. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Just doing that really helps our show and our sponsors and supports, and it keeps the show alive each and every week. Also, you are entered to win in future contests as well. Thanks everyone for coming in and joining us. Joe is back next week, and I will be back the week after. Join myself and Producer Bird every Wednesday for our midweek social time on Facebook, where we kick back, relax, have a casual chat, and drink. And anyone who wants to join in is more than welcome. It's a great way for us to get to know you guys a little bit better, and you guys get to know us a little better. Anyways, that's every week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. And until next time, guys, we'll see you on the ships.